Hello, folks. You're tuned in to F1 Motor Fever podcast, and today we're shifting gears to discuss the riveting journey of former Formula One driver Mark Blundell.
Mark Blundell indeed, a man who has seen it all in the world of motorsport. A journey from two wheels to four and from Formula Ford 1600 to the grandeur of Formula One.
Absolutely. His racing passion ignited after seeing the racing cars for the first time, and there was no looking back. He even caught the attention of Nissan and joined their World Sports Car Championship team in 1989.
1990 was a significant year for him, securing a pole position at Le Mans and testing extensively for Williams. Despite the promising start, his Formula One journey was not a walk in the park.
He dove headfirst into the deep end with Brabham in 1991, and it was a year marked by challenges. Poor performance, unreliability, financial struggles. But as they say, what doesn't kill you? Whoa.
Makes you stronger, and stronger he became. 1992 saw him as a test driver for McLaren, winning the Le Mans 24 hours with Peugeot. He returned to Formula One in 93, bagging 2 podium finishes along the way.
And let's not forget his stint with McLaren, which was a roller coaster ride. The car performance wasn't what you'd call top-notch.
But Mark Blundell was not a man to be deterred. He moved to the kart championship in America, and despite a harrowing accident, he won 3 races in his second season. Talk about bouncing back.
Oh, indeed. He hung up his racing gloves in 2000 but remained a beloved figure in the world of motorsports. His punditry for ITV's Formula One coverage is still fondly remembered.
His journey through the world of motorsports is not just a career. It's a compelling saga of resilience, determination, and sheer passion.
So here's to Mark Blundell, a man who raced against the odds and triumphed. His legacy on the track is not just historic, it's timeless, reverberating through the annals of racing as a testament to his indomitable spirit. Hello, folks, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite daily fix, F1 Motor Fever podcast. I'm your host for today, George, filling in for our usual host, Enzo Watts.
And I'm William, your resident Formula One commentator, providing you with my insights and analysis.
Right you are, William. Now we've got something special for you this morning. Our Thursday specials are when we dig into the archives and pull out epic stories from the annals of Formula One.
And believe me, today's story is one for the books.
Absolutely. So before we dive in, a quick reminder. If you enjoy today's episode, make sure to subscribe to our channel, activate your notifications, leave us a comment, and share with your friends and family. Every bit of your support helps us keep this show on the road.
And trust us, we've got some fantastic content lined up for you.
Oh, absolutely. Today we're peeling back the layers on the career of a man who turned every setback into a comeback. Mark Blundell. Why Mark Blundell, you ask? Well, his story resonates with every one of us who has ever faced adversity and emerged stronger.
So buckle up, folks. This is going to be a fantastic journey.
Want more details on the subject? Stick with us. And remember, folks, as we say here on F1 Motor Fever podcast, full throttle. So, folks, it seems our man Mark didn't exactly have the best of machinery during his Formula One years.
Quite right. Despite racing for 4 different teams and entering 63 Grand Prix, the machinery never really matched his talent.
But don't be fooled into thinking that dampened his spirit. No, sir. Mark was always ready for the next challenge.
Indeed, his gusty performances fetched him 3 podium finishes and a total of 32 points.
And that's no small feat, given the circumstances. He didn't just stop at Formula One. He had successful spells in the US-based kart championship as well.
Not to mention his stint as a pundit in the 2000s. His insightful commentary and straight-talking style won over many fans.
Wait a minute. Did you know Mark's journey to Formula One began on 2 wheels? Yes, you heard it right.
Interesting. His first exposure to motorsport was through motocross. It seems that's where he got his competitive spirit from.
He saw racing cars going around in circles and thought, maybe one day that would be a dream come true. Well, dreams do come true, don't they?
They certainly do. His journey from motocross to Formula One is truly an inspiring tale of determination and passion.
So our man Mark wasn't always dreaming of reaching the pinnacle of motorsport, it seems. His journey began with a few laps in a Formula Ford 1600 at Cadwell Park.
That's right. The goal was simply to go racing on a Sunday afternoon. There were no grand visions of racing at a Silverstone Grand Prix at that stage.
But as they say, the universe works in mysterious ways. Those laps in the Formula Ford 1600 turned out to be the stepping stone for what was to come.
Yes, indeed. He then made the jump to Formula 3000, and that's when things started to get serious.
That's when the penny dropped. Mark began making a name for himself. His performances caught the attention of Nissan, and he was picked up for the World Sports Car Championship in 1989.
And what a year 1990 was for him. He claimed an astonishing pole position at Le Mans, a whopping 6 seconds clear of the pack.
And to top it all off, he was also testing extensively for Williams. From racing on a Sunday afternoon to testing for a top Formula One team, what a journey.
A reminder to all our listeners, never underestimate the potential of a Sunday afternoon hobby.
It's quite fascinating to see how Mark's journey unfolded. Testing for Williams was a turning point for him. He got the chance to showcase his talent in a Formula One car and started getting noticed.
That's right. He was amongst the first of a new generation of test drivers, given an important role within the team.
Working with the legendary team at Williams, he learned the ins and outs of a Grand Prix team. This experience was invaluable for him, and it became a stepping stone for his career in Formula One.
Imagine the feeling of working with greats like Paddy Lowe, Patrick Head, and of course, Sir Frank Williams himself.
Absolutely. But let's not forget, the path to Formula One wasn't a straight line for Mark. In fact, he was originally supposed to race for Tom Walkinshaw in World Sports Cars with the Jaguars. It was only in 1991 that he landed a full-time Formula One race seat with Brabham.
Well, sometimes the detours in life lead us to the most exciting places.
Couldn't agree more. It's how we handle the twists and turns that ultimately shapes our journey. What an incredible story Mark Blundell's career has been. A testament to the power of determination, resilience, and a bit of good old racing luck. Mark's move to Brabham was pretty unexpected. He had a contract with TWR, but due to some missing bonuses in the contract, he had second thoughts.
That's right, and it was during this time that Brabham approached him.
But the stint with Brabham was a tough one. The team was struggling and the car lacked performance and reliability. He finished only 5 races that year, scoring a point for 6th in Belgium.
True, but consider this. Wasn't that point he scored the first in Formula One for a Yamaha-powered car? That's a significant achievement in itself.
Yes, that's a fair point. But he himself said in hindsight that it may not have been the right thing to do, as he had a multi-year contract with Williams in hand, where he was doing a good job.
I agree, but sometimes in life we have to learn from those challenging experiences. They shape us and make us stronger.
Heh, maybe you're right. I'll have to ponder on that, but I still believe that staying with Williams could have been the better option for him.
That's perfectly fine. We don't have to agree on everything. What's important is having an open mind and considering different perspectives.
True, absolutely. I will definitely think more about this. It's interesting to see how Mark's experience at Brabham taught him some very important lessons. His time there was tough in many ways.
Yes, indeed. The performance of the car wasn't up to Mark, and he even had to face issues like bounced checks.
That's right. He even had to sit outside the office at Brabham on 2 occasions, waiting to be paid. Talk about a baptism of fire.
It wasn't all doom and gloom, though. It led him to an important realization. A driver is only as good as the car he's driving.
That's a significant insight. And interestingly, during this time, he was even asked by Williams to go back and test for them while still racing for Brabham.
Yes, that's quite unusual, but it further demonstrates his value as a driver.
Definitely. What's even more exciting is what came next. He was approached by McLaren to be a test driver to Ayrton Senna and Gerhard Berger.
That must have been a fantastic opportunity for him. From a struggling stint at Brabham to testing for 2 of the greatest drivers in Formula One, his journey had taken quite a turn.
Indeed, life surely has a way of surprising us, doesn't it? He went from racing on a Sunday afternoon to testing for top teams in Formula One.
Absolutely. It's a testament to Mark's perseverance and resilience in the face of adversity. His journey is truly inspirational and serves as a lesson for all aspiring racers.
Mark's story is fascinating. Even though he left Williams, he never lost his spirit. He even suggested Damon Hill to take his place at Williams.
Yes, it's amazing how things turned out. Hill did indeed step up to Williams and went on to win the 1996 title.
Right. And meanwhile, Mark had a stellar year in 1992 as McLaren's tester and winning the Le Mans 24 Hours with Peugeot.
Indeed, returning to a 100% record after a tough year must have felt fantastic.
And he didn't stop there. He returned to the Formula One grid in 1993 with Ligier and claimed his first career podium at the opening round in South Africa.
That's right, and he didn't stop there either. He took home another trophy in Germany, and his switch to Tyrrell in 1994 yielded another podium finish, this time in Spain.
His journey is a roller coaster, but it's also a testament to his determination and talent. I can't wait to delve deeper into his racing career further on in our conversation. Our discussion on Mark's career has been inspired by an insightful article from Formula1.com. It was penned by Philip Horton and published on the 6th of February, 2024.
Ah, yes. Formula1.com is indeed a reputable source for in-depth insights into the sport. It's always important to cross-reference our information from such established platforms.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Now let's move on. It seems history had a way of repeating itself for Mark. Just like with Brabham, Tyrrell was also struggling financially. And again, there was no chance of Mark staying there for 1995.
It's interesting, though, how McLaren came back into the picture. They approached Mark, recognizing the value he could add to their team.
Indeed, he signed up as a test driver for Mika Hakkinen and Nigel Mansell. But as fate would have it, Mansell missed the opening 2 events, and Mark stepped in to take his spot.
That must have been another huge twist in his career. And then Mansell returned, only to quit McLaren after 2 rounds, which again opened a vacancy for the remainder of the season.
It's such a whirlwind of events, isn't it? Mark admits he didn't know about the troubles going on with Nigel when he signed his test deal. It's fascinating to look back and see how things unfolded.
Absolutely. It goes to show how unpredictable the world of Formula One can be and how quickly things can change.
So, my lovely audience, it really makes you think how intense the world of Formula One is, doesn't it? So many unexpected twists and turns. Isn't it absolutely riveting? We'd love to hear what you think. Are you enjoying the discussion so far? Do share your thoughts with us. We're having a blast delving into these incredible stories, and we hope you are too. Now let's get back to it. Mark's stint at McLaren wasn't all roses, was it? It was a challenging time for the team, with Ron Dennis still laying the groundwork for the future successes.
Absolutely. This was the first year of the McLaren-Mercedes partnership, and the car proved to be solid, but not particularly remarkable. It's interesting to hear Mark's perspective, particularly about the disparity in power between his and Mika's cars, due to Mika being the designated #1 driver.
Despite that, Mark performed commendably against Mika, scoring 13 points to Mika's 17. That's quite impressive.
It indeed is. You know, this reminds me a bit of my own childhood. I was a bit of an underdog in my local karting league. I had an old, second-hand kart, while most of the other kids had brand new gear. Despite the disparity, I managed to hold my own and even win a few races. It taught me that it's not just about having the best equipment, it's also about skill, determination, and making the most of what you have.
That's a fantastic story, and I'm sure Mark would agree. Now, this conversation is getting more intriguing by the minute. Let's continue. Mark's journey took quite a turn when he lost out on a Sauber drive to fellow Brit Johnny Herbert. It was a bit of a blow, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed. It seems he was a bit disheartened with Formula One at that point. But then, as often happens in life, when one door closes, another opens.
Absolutely. In Mark's case, it was Mercedes-Benz that came to the rescue. They offered him an engine lease deal to take to America, which he did, joining Pac West Racing.
Surely a testament to the respect and trust he had earned from his time at McLaren.
True. And although they weren't able to use the Mercedes engine for the first season, they brought it in the following season and started winning. What a turnaround for Mark.
It shows his resilience and adaptability. To win 3 races in his second season, especially after a challenging start to his time in America, is quite remarkable.
Quite so. The world of Formula One is indeed full of exciting twists and turns. Let's see what the next chapter in Mark's career holds. You know what all this talk of racing and winning reminds me of? My own go-karting days. Oh, the thrill of it. There's nothing quite like the rush of wind as you race down the track, the adrenaline pumping.
Huh. Seems like you're veering off the track a bit. Haven't we got a podcast to host?
Oh, right you are. Got a bit lost in memory lane. My sincere apologies, folks. Let's get back to exploring the fascinating world of Formula One. Thanks for keeping me on track. Mark's second race in America was a real shocker, wasn't it? A brake failure at almost 200 miles per hour.
Indeed, it was a terrifying accident. The impact with the concrete wall was calculated at 122 G. That's an astronomical figure.
It's chilling to hear Mark's recollection of the event. He consciously tried to hit his teammate because he knew that hitting the concrete could be fatal.
It's a testament to the dangers these drivers face every time they get behind the wheel. But despite the risks, Mark went on to start 71 kart races before finally leaving the series after the year 2000.
That's quite an impressive run. And he even managed to enjoy some great racing on the ovals, which he says isn't everyone's cup of tea.
It was a remarkable journey for Mark in his American racing career. The challenges he faced and the victories he achieved tell a compelling story of resilience and determination.
Absolutely. Let's continue unraveling this intriguing tale. Mark's racing career then took a new turn. He became one of the main pundits for ITV's coverage of Formula One in the early 2000s.
Yes, that's right. You know, I heard a rumor that he was actually selected for his commentary role because of a bet he won against Mark Blundell during a game of poker.
Haha, well, that's quite an entertaining story, but I think we need to be careful about spreading rumors. From what Mark has shared, he actually got the opportunity to start commentating because Mark Blundell wasn't able to do one of the Grand Prix, and Mark was asked to fill in.
My apologies, I should have checked my sources. I'll be sure to stick to the verified facts in future.
That's all right. Just a reminder to all our listeners. It's always important to check our facts, especially when it comes to something as popular and widely followed as Formula One. The official Formula One website and the Bandeirantes television channel in Brazil are two reliable sources for information.
Absolutely, my mistake, and I'll ensure to be more cautious next time. Let's continue with Mark's journey.
Mark's love for the sport truly shines through, doesn't it? 7 years of full-time punditry with ITV is no small feat.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that he was known for his straight talking and occasional slip-ups. It seems like it earned him quite a charming reputation.
And it wasn't just about the racing for him. He made it a point to explain things in layman's terms. He wanted his commentary to be as accessible as possible for the fans.
That's a true skill, making complex phenomena understandable for everyone. And he seemed to relish the unpredictability of live TV.
Yes, live TV can be quite a roller coaster ride. 1 minute everything's going smoothly, the next you've said something you can't take back. But such is the thrill of live broadcasting. Let's continue exploring Mark's broadcasting journey. Mark didn't just stop at TV, did he? He and Mark Blundell set up a driver management business that eventually branched out into several industries.
Absolutely. 10 years down the line, they're working not only in motorsport, but with some of the world's biggest corporations. Quite the journey from the racetrack to the boardroom.
It's clear Mark has a fighting spirit. He wakes up every morning with a desire to win, whether it's on the racetrack or in the business world.
And despite having his racing opportunities during the non-peak years of 4 iconic teams, he's expressed a lot of contentment with how his career has unfolded.
That's the spirit of a true racer, isn't it? Always looking forward, always ready for the next challenge. Let's see what else Mark has to share. Mark doesn't seem to hold any regrets about his career, does he?
It seems not. He makes a point about not crying over spilt milk. Decisions were made at the time with the best intentions, and there's no use dwelling on the past.
And that's a fantastic attitude for any professional, especially in a fast-paced industry like motorsport. You must always keep moving forward.
It's clear that Mark is proud of his career, and rightly so. He was there on merit and was paid as a professional driver, which is testament to his skill and dedication.
Indeed, it's been fascinating diving into Mark Blundell's journey through the world of Formula One. From the racetrack to the commentary box and even the boardroom, his passion for the sport has remained unwavering, a true inspiration for all our listeners. Thanks for tuning in to F1 Motor Fever Podcast today. We've been revving our engines through Mark Blundell's extraordinary journey through the world of Formula One. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our daily episodes. Your support means the world to us. And don't forget to share our podcast with your friends, family, and fellow Formula One fans on all your social media platforms. If you've got something to say, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section.
Oh, and make sure you stick around. We've got some real gems lined up for you. A little birdie told me there's a special episode dropping on Thursday morning.
I've got a feeling our good friend Enzo is going to love this episode. Pedal to the metal. Keep your gaze on the road. Our channel's content is pure gold. We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for joining us.